He lost everything in one night, but what he did next will inspire you. At 9:47 p.m., David's phone rang. It was the kind of call that changes everything. By the time he hung up, his life was unrecognizable. David was 38, living in a quiet suburb outside Boston. He had a stable job, a comfortable home, and the kind of life that looks perfect from the outside. But that night, perfection shattered. The company he'd worked at for 14 years had just gone bankrupt. In one sentence, he lost his job, his income, and the plan he thought he had for the next 20 years. For weeks, David did nothing. He'd wake up late, sit on the couch, stare at the wall. The weight of uncertainty felt like it was crushing his chest. One night, as he scrolled through his phone, he saw an old photo of himself, smiling, standing at the finish line of a local marathon he'd run years ago. And that's when it hit him. I used to fight for things. When did I stop? David made a choice that night. He couldn't fix the economy. He couldn't bring his company back, but he could fix himself. The next morning, he set his alarm for 5 a.m., not to look for jobs yet, but to run, because running was the one thing in his life he had complete control over. The first run was brutal. Cold air cut through his lungs. His legs felt like lead. By the time he reached the end of the street, he was gasping for breath. But that didn't matter. What mattered was he didn't quit. Each morning, he went a little further. And with every mile, he began to remember something important. Progress isn't about speed. It's about showing up. Running became a symbol. If he could push himself out of bed to run in the freezing dark, he could push himself to rebuild his life. One morning, after a long run, David sat at his kitchen table and opened his laptop. Instead of searching for jobs, he started writing down ideas, small business concepts, skills he could learn, things he had always wanted to try. For the first time in months, he felt excited. Starting over at 38 was terrifying. Friends told him to play it safe, to find another corporate job. But David had learned something during those early morning runs. Safe had been the trap. He decided to launch a small online coaching program, teaching people how to train for their first marathon. It was something he knew, something he loved. At first, only a few people signed up, but David treated them like they were the most important clients in the world. Word spread. Soon, he was helping dozens of people cross their own finish lines, literally and figuratively. 2 years later, David wasn't just financially stable again, he was thriving. He'd built a business around his passion, traveled across the country for marathons, and most importantly, he had his fight back. Looking back, he realized something powerful. Losing everything was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it forced me to find myself. If you've lost something, your job, your confidence, your sense of direction, remember this. You might not get back what you lost, but you can build something better. One small step, every single day. That's how you rebuild. So, what's your first step going to be?